All right, testing, testing. Okay, we are live as always. Well, greetings, all of you. Salutations to all my followers of darkness, shadow scavengers, and villain aficionados. Welcome, bienvenue, as always, to one of my good old-fashioned Shadow Council episodes, episode 40. I cannot believe we have went so far. We are on episode 40. Again, still surprised, but again, welcome again. With, of course, one of my alongside good old-fashioned favorite member of the Shadow Council. Please welcome the one and only TK, the Lucky Bastard. Yeah, that's right. Joining me for another very interesting conversation, because this time, as I put it in the video description below, it is time for us to step back, go on a boat, and sail towards the Island of Berk. Some people have sheeps. Some people have dragons. We have live streams. But anyway, jokes aside and everything, we are here to talk about the world of dragons. As always, we're going to keep it simple. Simple, franchise, memory lane, down the line conversation, as we always did. Yeah. So basically, for anyone who has been living under a rock, somewhere very deep down in the hidden world, no pun intended. Basically, How to Train a Dragon first started as a book series created by I always butcher her name, Cressida Cowell, I think it's her name, which started from 2003. But later on, DreamWorks Animation decided to adapt those books into one of the most, for me personally, one of the most iconic, legendary, well-made DreamWorks trilogies like in history of animation. Of course, with all three movies being directed by the one and only, again, another guy, I'm going to butcher his name, Dean Dubois. I think that's his last name. Although, but by the way, if I got it very close, good on me.
I mean, look, I think that's right.
I know his last name, but basically, I know it's. I know it sounds a little bit like French.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Dane Dubois, like basically who directed all three How to Train Your Dragon movies, and who's also doing it.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. You know who else directed it with him?
Oh yes, go ahead.
Stitch.
Yep, Chris Sanders himself.
Mm-hmm. I always have to do a double take when I hear I always think of him as Stitch. I never think of him as a director.
I mean, seriously, when you, I mean, come on, it's Chris Sanders. Of course, every time when you hear Chris Sanders, deep down, you just simply wish to say, "Mega Nana Krishna."
I mean, how would anybody take him? Like, if I walked in a room and if I was on a movie and he walked in and was like, "Hi, I'm the director," I'd be like, I'm never going to be able to take this guy seriously.
Yeah, can I be honest with you? If I ever had the chance to meet Chris Sanders face to face, I would literally go instead of saying like, "Oh, hello, Mr. Sanders, how you do?" Like, big fan of your work. I would literally just simply look at his face and I'll be like, "Hi." I'm telling you, I would literally go like that. Literally. Just simply go instead of like, "Oh, how do you do?" I'll be like, "Hi." Literally. But anyway, back to the Island of Berk. Yeah. I mean, by the way, when I said adapted from the books to like the anime movies, we have to basically correct ourselves a little bit, because I would say they're loosely adapted from the books. I mean, I do remember, like, even back in the old days when like the first movie came out in 2010. I remember, like, even back in the first movie, I do remember there was a lot of criticism that the How to Train a Dragon movies never went in the direction of the How to Train a Dragon books. I mean, truth be told, I mean, like, I want to ask you this, Trevor. Like, did you ever read any of the How to Train a Dragon books?
No.
Well, join the club, because me neither. No, I mean, literally. I mean, the very first time when I was introduced to How to Train a Dragon movies, like, or just the franchise in general, like, literally, I was introduced to them through the movies. I mean, I mean, way back then. I mean, we're talking 2010, of course, But back in those days, like I literally never realized that they were like based on books that basically I figure that basically it was revealed to me like many years later, you know. And also, I mean, I never read them myself, but I do remember one of my friends who actually had a few because there's actually quite a few in the series. Like from 2003, I think the last one she did, Cressida Cowell, I think she wrote the last one in 2015, I think, like 10 years ago. Well, actually, 11 years ago. Yeah, so there's a lot of them, you know, and they all had like funny titles, like How to Train, How to Steal, How to Betray, How to like basically almost all the books were like that, you know. But I mean, have you ever like when my first question to you is, have you ever heard the criticisms that the How to Train a Dragon movies had, like, you know, not being based almost exactly like the books?
I haven't really heard that criticism. No, I haven't really heard that criticism.
Because that's the first thing I wanted to mention about the trilogy is that I read somewhere. Now I don't know if those sources are true or not, but like I read somewhere that the actual like some of the fans of the books and the author herself, well, maybe using that word would be a little bit too much, but like the way how I read it, it says that she actually hated how they did the movies because
Really?
it's not. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, like I read somewhere either she didn't like because like, well, actually, let me put this: like some people say she didn't like, some people said she hated the way how they treated her the adaptation from her books. You know, because from what I've actually, for all like little like bits and pieces I've collected throughout the years, her books are totally different. Like you know, from the movies, absolutely different. Like for example, the one thing I actually discovered was like the very first book, which was of course, you know, How to Train a Dragon, literally. The very first book I remember that started basically it started with like an older Hiccup.
Okay. Oh.
It started with an older Hiccup, and I don't mean like and not like old, like for example he was at the end of the Hidden World, not like that old, like I mean really old. He was basically either middle aged or he was already like an old Viking pensioner or something. You know, but basically he lived like he was still living on the island of Berk, and I know that he lived in a world where dragons didn't exist anymore, like they basically were extinct. And so the very first scene was basically him telling the story, these like basically stories of a time when dragons actually existed. You know, now I don't remember if he was like telling it like to us, like sort of like a narrator, or he was like telling the children of Berk. I don't remember that, but I do remember reading somewhere that was like the very first scene in the book. Yeah, so like that, you know. But look, nevertheless, you know, when you the catch is always this: that whenever you adapt something that is based on a book or a novel, or like basically a novel or a comic book, there will always be changes. Okay,
Yeah.
there will always be changes, no matter what you do. I mean, sure. I mean, look, you can do, for example, you can adapt a project like, you know, page per page, basically. You can do that, you know, 100%. But you also have to realize that, you know, that there will always be some things that, for example, a director thinks that in the book maybe this could have worked, but I think I have a better idea, like, you know, how it could actually work on the screen, because, you know, there are things in books that sometimes they don't actually quite work when you basically would bring them to life on the big screen.
Well, here's a perfect example of that. Take The Shining, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like the Shining also like was, I don't know if it was like totally different, but like there were some differences from the movie and the book. I mean, actually,
yeah. Well, what they did, I think, was they took the book was a lot more supernatural. Like the book, was like straight up possession.
Yeah.
But the movie was a lot more psychological. I mean, they changed a lot with that. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't know if any movie is going to be like exactly 100% to the book.
Mm.
And also it makes sense DreamWorks wouldn't do a straight adaptation.
I mean, one of the things I actually I discovered like a few years back is that one of the reasons why it was loosely adapted is because what I think like one of the reasons was because they thought that there were some of the things in the books that it wouldn't actually work on the big screen, but also I think I don't know if this news is true or not, but I also read somewhere that the books were actually a lot more mature and dark, unlike the animated movies. So so basically, I think that was also one of the reasons why they changed a lot in the animated movies. I mean, there was a lot of things. Like for example, like I said, from the very first scene. Also, for example, in the book, I think like if I remember correctly, in the book, for example, Valka actually is still like dead. And if I recall, in the books, she was killed not by dragons. She was killed by like an actual like Viking like villain. Yeah, like this character actually was adapted in the DreamWorks Dragons TV series that was released on Cartoon Network. He was basically known as Alvin the Treacherous.
Now, see that makes me think of a question. I know we're going to get to this more later, but that makes me think of a question.
Yeah.
So they from the books to the movies, DreamWorks, at least for the animated ones, they softened them a little bit. So I wonder going forward, because
they soften them a lot. That's all.
But I wonder if going forward with the live action movies, because it sounds like they're going to do How to Train Your Dragon 2, and then I mean, logically, it would stand to reason they're going to do the third one. I wonder if
it's already confirmed.
I wonder if they might, for the second and third one, adapt from DreamWorks, but maybe add some of the darker elements in too.
Well, so far what I've heard from Dean, the director, because again, as I've said before at the beginning, it's going to be the same director who did the animated movies. So far, what I heard from him in How to Train Your Dragon 2, there will be some changes. Like it's like, for example, the first one. I mean, we're gonna discuss a little bit deeper that a little bit later, but when we talk about the live action movies. But I mean, you and I can both agree that the first live action movie was almost a complete copy paste of the animated version.
Yeah, I mean they did add some stuff with what's her name
Astrid.
They did add some stuff with Astrid, which I liked.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was a carbon copy for the most part. I don't know. I liked it, but they did add some stuff. But I mean, yeah, you're right. It was pretty much a carbon copy going back and watching the original.
Yeah, I mean, like there were some things there that were changed. Like, for example, the conversation between Gobber and Stoic, like when they were like in the Grand Council room, basically talking about the threat of dragons and everything. When they were trying to find the nest, like the entire conversation, was changed. Actually, they actually in a way that they made it sound more like mature. Yeah. In a way, because of course, when you try to compare the live action conversation with the animated one, like if they try to copy almost every single word from that conversation in live action, will look silly. Like, for example, you cannot imagine Nick Frost's Gobber saying like like drinking, going like, "Right, I'll pick my undies." Like you like it will feel a little bit goofy for Nick Frost's Gobber to say that. Like right, I'll pick my undies.
It would. That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like there were some changes, but like I would say 95% was a complete copy paste movie. Yeah. The second one, however, as I tried to say before, Dean, the director, did actually say that they're gonna change a few things. Like they're not gonna try to make a complete copy paste again.
Yeah, I don't think they should make a
Honestly,
complete copy. I mean, I feel like the complete copy paste worked for the first one, but I feel
I
like it's
think
gonna have to add something new in the second. They kind of have to do some changes.
yeah, I think like again, we're gonna talk about the live action later, but yeah, I do. I think like the first one they tried to do as less changes as possible to kind of basically make it like an overall reintroduction to the world of How to Train a Dragon. But from the How to Train a Dragon 2 and 3, I mean, they will definitely do some changes.
Yeah,
Absolutely, like because when you're doing an adaptation or in this case a live action remake, of course your first goal is not trying to make it like page per page the same. Of course, that you're going to make some changes. I mean, look at it. For example, Disney what did with the live action remakes of their animated classics.
yeah.
Well,
Look at Lilo and Stitch.
Exactly. Like of course, some of the remakes were gigantic misses. Some of them were like a bingo night. But yeah, Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch was one of those bingo nights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you actually put a really good reference example. That's what I was trying to say. You actually put a good example. Well, look what they did to Lilo and Stitch. Exactly. Like there were some things the same, but there was a lot of things that was different. So yeah, but again, we're gonna go into the live action a little bit later. Now,
one thing I want to add really quickly because I always find a way to sneak this in, and you'll yell at me for doing this, but one thing I will say is if anybody ever tries to adapt Dragon Ball again, talk to the directors, talk to the people who adapted How to Train Your Dragon into live action and Lilo and Stitch into live action, because how they did those two movies, that's the way to do it.
Or I'll give you one better. Talk with the people, for example, who did the One Piece live action series.
Yes.
Alongside, like you said, alongside How to Train a Dragon, Lilo and Stitch. I will even add a little bit Avatar: The Last Airbender live action remake.
Yeah.
I will even add that, even though there were some changes they did in that live action version that I didn't agree with, but still successful in a way. But yeah, they should definitely talk with those people, like, because if those people can actually do things right, which they did. I mean, like I said, look, for example, How to Train a Dragon first movie, One Piece live action TV series. They were a success. So if you want to do Dragon Ball right, I mean, you're definitely gonna have to talk with somebody to basically give you some really good advices.
Yeah.
Or even to be more deeper, some really strong words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, going back to like the original How to Train a Dragon trilogy, the animated ones. I mean, you and I can both agree. It is definitely one of the most iconic and like greatly made DreamWorks movie series like in the entire history of DreamWorks. I mean, would you agree?
Yeah. And one thing I will say I appreciate about it is kind of like the I'm going to butcher this word. I'm not using the right word, but the through line from like the first to the third one. I like the continuity. I like how it's kind of like there's like I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but there's like a connection between all three. I kind of like how it's like it feels complete.
Mm-hmm.
That was always one of my beefs with the Shrek series, was like it never felt like there was one like boom to boom boom boom. It felt like it was like all like really individualized.
Well,
I mean, I'll say that differently. It felt 2 and 3 kind of felt related to each other. 4 kind of felt like it was out of left field a little bit.
I would say if you're looking for a connection, I think Shrek 1, 2, and 3 were connected. If you look at if you're trying to look for connectivity, I think 1, 2, and 3 were connected. But I do agree that Shrek Forever After, the fourth one, was like kind of a left field in a way. Yeah, I do agree on that. But even still, I'm still like one of those rare people who still defends that movie because I thought it was actually pretty good. But anyway, we're getting off the subject, which was very quick. Yeah, it was very quick. Right. Anyway, I mean, I want to ask you. I mean, I already know what your answer is going to be, but I want to ask you, which was the movie which movie in the trilogy was your introduction?
The first one.
Yeah, well, join the club. We got jackets. Yeah, I know. It's a line from a different franchise. I know. But in this case, it was worth it. Okay, it was worth it to say it. Right? Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, look, the movie was released in 2010. You and I were both like, even back then, we're like still smart enough to be introduced, with the very first movie in the series. So yeah, with me as well. I mean, one of the things that I mean, 2010, like those were the times actually I didn't even start watching trailers for movies. Like whenever a movie comes out in the theater or digital or DVD, it will be completely unknown to me. Like literally, I would watch a movie and that would be like my very first introduction to everything. Yeah, I mean, I want to ask you this, like a bit like outside the main topic, but what was your when did you first start watching trailers? If you remember,
like trailers in general.
Let's say trailers. Okay, on the TV they don't count. Let's say trailers on YouTube. Let's say it this way. Like, when did you first start watching trailers on YouTube?
I think when I first really started to notice them and get into that was maybe I'm trying to think. I think with Iron Man 3 is when I started to get into trailers.
Fair enough. For me, I would say, my very first time I actually started watching YouTube trailers, like for movies or TV shows in general, I think it was done like I would say I started somewhere at the time when, like, for example, okay, I think it was like at the time when Avengers: Age of Ultron, Kingsman: The Secret Service, like I think those were that was the time when I first started watching officially movie trailers. Yeah, I think that was the time, because back then, I mean, of course, like back then, I mean, like 2010, 2011, like sometimes I would watch some trailers, on YouTube and everything for like movies and everything, but I never did, but they never got my attention, basically. They never got my attention, like, whatsoever. Like even for example, when the first official trailer for Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides came out, I literally, like, I watched it and everything, but they never got my attention, like, wow, a trailer, like, oh, I'm so excited for this movie and everything. Like, those were not the time. That was not the time. That was not still the time for me, to kind of like, when I officially started to watch them. So I will definitely say somewhere at the time of Kingsman: The Secret Service, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Yeah, I would say that was the time when I officially started watching them.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been. I think that was when I got, like, Iron Man 3 was when I started, but I think I might be a little more with you. That's when I really started to like get into the trailers. Yeah, I get, because partially what I remember about that was the trailer song, how they did the "No Strings on Me," like really creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from Pinocchio.
Yeah, they should have dropped a version of that. They should have dropped a version of that on iTunes back then. I wish they had, because it was creepy, but I liked, like, it kind of fit the vibe perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the character of Ultron, like, it really made sense for him, like, to actually sing a song like that. It kind of makes sense, and everything. But I will agree, it was bloody creepy. But anyway, going back to the How to Train Your Dragon movies. So my very first question for you is, of all the three, like how would you rank them? From like I hate saying worst, so I would say less likable to really likable. I hate using the word worst.
Okay, say it again. I'm confused.
Just simply rank them like from your less likable one to your favorite one.
I missed what you. I missed what you said about what am I ranking again?
The How to Train Your Dragon movies.
Oh,
not the live action, the animated ones.
Okay, the animated ones. I would say I'm trying to think. That's a hard one. I would say I think 2's my favorite. I would say 3 is my second favorite because sort of the payoffs in it, and I would say 1 is probably number 3.
Well, we're on, one more time. Once again, we are on the same boat without a paddle. Yeah, I mean, because that's exactly my ranking. Like on the third place is the first movie, which is kind of ironic for a lot of people because usually they will put the first one right at the top. But the third one on the third place is the first one. Second place, The Hidden World, and then first place, How to Train a Dragon 2. Because that sequel for me made such a gigantic impact on the same level, like for example, Kung Fu Panda 2 did.
Yeah,
on the same fucking level. Like it really knocked me out of. It really knocked all senses out of me.
one thing I will say about How to Train Your Dragon, I guess this goes for DreamWorks in general, is they do something really well with their sequels. They actually improve upon the first one. Like their sequels actually are better than the originals, I think, in a lot of cases.
Absolutely. I mean, just look at. I mean, to give a very good example. I mean, just look at Shrek 2, Kung Fu Panda 2. Alongside How to Train Your Dragon 2. And also to even add, I know it's still inside Shrek, but again, I always kind of took it as like a very different franchise. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh, I thought that movie was fantastic.
I
didn't like the first Puss in Boots.
I thought it was okay.
I just thought it was. I mean, like it wasn't bad. I just kind of thought it would have more in it. I thought it would be better, but the second one I was like pleasantly surprised by.
Oh, absolutely! I was blown away by it. And at first I didn't want to watch it because I didn't like the type of animation they used. But after actually I started watching it in the theater, the animation actually started growing on me.
Oh, I went into that movie expecting to completely hate it, and I came out and I was like, was that actually good?
Can I be honest? One thing about the first Puss in Boots. I know we're going off the rail again, but can I say one thing about the first Puss in Boots? I think it was a mistake. For example, the whole golden eggs, golden goose, the beanstalk, and all that. Like that was a good and fun idea, absolutely, for a Puss in Boots story. But I still think they should have kept the giant.
Yeah,
because I remember from the early concept arts that when I watched the behind the scenes for the first Puss in Boots, they were planning to introduce the giant. They were planning to do it, but then later on, since of course, when you're writing a story, of course, there will always be some setbacks and changes in the script. Of course, because it's always like that when you're telling a story. Like you have the first idea, and then basically when you wrote it, you're like, wait, I have a better idea. What if I instead of that scene, I do this? For example, instead of that decision, I make the character do this different decision. And basically, during the production, there's always changes going on and on. But I strongly believe that removing the giant was a mistake.
That made me think of something. Have they announced a third Puss in Boots yet?
there are plans. They did announce that I mean, so like the sources I've checked, they are saying that a third Puss in Boots is in development. That's I think like that's the only news I've heard. That is still in development.
I think there almost has to be a third Puss in Boots because that's the like only returning cast member from the Shrek series that's not in Shrek 5, and I think he'd be in Shrek 5 if the only reason I can figure that he's not in Shrek 5 is that they're doing another Puss in Boots.
Yeah, and, true.
Or they're gonna, or because they're also doing a Donkey spinoff, they're gonna somehow have him team up with Donkey at some point in that movie. Which, by the way, if they do that, I would love that. A buddy Donkey Puss in Boots movie. If they can do that right, that could be DreamWorks' best movie.
Puss in Boots and Donkey, like a buddy cop movie. Like it will be literally like DreamWorks version of Showtime with Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Absolutely. I mean, like I would say, like, I mean, if I remember correctly, like the Donkey movie, they did say that they're planning to do it in 2028.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like
honestly, that movie. The only thing I'd be worried about that movie is if it's actually good, it could eclipse the Shrek movies because Donkey's the MVP of Shrek. I mean that could easily eclipse the Shrek movie.
Okay, I know we're going off the rail once again, but I have to say this. Will be a perfect inspiration for a Donkey movie. Now, how much are you familiar with fairy tales in general?
I'm pretty familiar.
Okay. Do you remember the fairy tale about a rooster, a cat, a dog, and a donkey?
Vaguely.
When basically they escaped their masters, they joined forces together, like basically like tried to make a career of like I think it was like singing or something, and then basically ended up in a cottage where the bandits were and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if they do a Shrek bonkers version of that fairy tale with Donkey?
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Oh my god, that would be great. Like, I don't think Donkey's gonna be like an origin story, just like Puss in Boots was. I think it might be a continuation of like in the timeline where Shrek is right now. But if you use that fairy tale as a core inspiration for the story, for example, you could do a reunion between Donkey and his like old gang. Let's just put it that way. That'll be. I think that'll be a perfect story element for the Donkey movie.
But that also, if it's not an origin story, that also kind of spoils a little bit of Shrek 5 because Donkey and Shrek have to separate somehow for that.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Assuming you do it present day.
I mean, look. Here's the thing. Look. Let's be honest. Like try to find a way how to remove Donkey from Shrek. It's very easy. I mean, Donkey was always a pain in the ass to Shrek. So easily Shrek could have basically do something like, Donkey, get the fuck out of my like house or something. And he's like, all right, I'm going, and then he basically goes on his own. And you can make a movie where basically he spends the entire day with his gang and do all these crazy adventures. And then basically at the end of the movie, you can make it basically him going back to the swamp. And basically Shrek is like, hey, Donkey, where you been? and he's like, and Donkey's like, trust me, Shrek, you don't want to
know. Now, folks, we might have seemed like we've gone off topic with the Shrek stuff, but I want to assure you we haven't because there is a dragon in Shrek.
Yes, indeed. Although
not the kind of dragons we're talking about, but
not exactly, because that's an old-fashioned classic dragon.
Yeah.
Unlike those How to Train Your Dragon, millions and millions of different races and everything. Which kind of brings me back to How to Train Your Dragon, but this time let's try to stay on course. This time,
yes,
right? Which kind of brings me to this. Okay, so let's go step by step. So first and foremost, what was the first thing that intrigued you in the How to Train Your Dragon movies?
I think the bond between the dragons and I think just the whole dragon thing, first of all, and then the bond between Hiccup and the dragon, that kind of between Hiccup and Night Fury, I kind of liked. I also kind of liked. So I've talked about in other live streams that one of my favorite book series is Aragon.
Yep.
And How to Train Your Dragon has a lot of similarities to Aragon. I mean, a lot of differences, but there are similarities.
Very small.
But I that was another thing that kind of drew me in a little bit. And I don't know, it just kind of it kept my attention.
Fair enough. I mean, for me, it definitely was the dragons. And also, you know, besides pirates, Vikings were always. I was always a sucker for Vikings as well, just like I am for pirates. So that was like definitely there was definitely a big plus for me. What intrigued me about the How to Train Your Dragon movies for sure. And I have to be honest with you. When I watched the first movie, the characters that really intrigued me the most were Stoic and Gobber. Like
Stoic?
it took. No, I'm telling you, because it took me a while to like the Dragon Riders. It took me a while to like Hiccup, Astrid, Fishlegs, Snotlout, the twins. Like it took me a while to like them, because like I was more like seriously, I was more into Toothless, the Night Fury dragon. I was more into that dragon, other dragons, and Stoic and Gobber. And by the and ironically, by the end of the movie, that's when I started to like them. And I think I liked more Hiccup after he lost his leg.
Give me 1 sec. I need to run to the bathroom really quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh man. Oh man. How to Train a Dragon? Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, like. How to Train a Dragon is definitely one of the best franchises that DreamWorks has ever created. Absolutely, like what Dane and the crew did with those 3 movies was spectacular. Like the overall, I mean, I always like, yeah, I mean, I always like the world building, the dragons, the characters, the villains. The villains were always my jam. You know, I'm from, you know, I'm always the type of person who's like from the villain's life, so. The villains were also really good. Yeah, I really liked, you know, but also like one of the things that I would say is one of the strongest points of that trilogy are the emotions. Absolutely, yeah, the serious, the emotional moments, even dark moments as well, especially in the second one, involving spoiler alert, Stoic's death. Oh man, that was a fucking teardrop moment. Absolutely. And I'm not just simply saying like a single tear drop. I'm talking like the Niagara Falls drops. Huh. That was a very powerful moment, not simply a death scene, but as a moment. 100%. Yeah. Bloody hell, what is he doing? Like taking a shite or taking a pesh? Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Again, I'm very, really sorry, guys, that we have went off the rails so many different times, like from Shrek to Puss in Boots to Dragon Ball to Marvel. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but but hey, when you're doing a Shadow Council, if you're in for the ride, of course you have to be ready when we get off the rail, because that's a tradition for the Shadow Council. That became basically a tradition. I mean, we are 40 episodes in, so if you didn't get used to it now, well, you're gonna have to. Oh man, I cannot wait to talk about the Dragons TV show, DreamWorks Dragons. By the way, DreamWorks Dragons. If anyone of you hasn't watched it yet, you should. Trust me. I mean, the animation is lower than the movies. I will give I'll give you that, but the story, the characters, absolutely amazing. Oh, the Dragons, the Nine Realms. That's one I will definitely suggest to avoid because it's a waste of time. Yep, Dragons, the Nine Realms, like that is a total waste of time. Absolutely. Yeah, but DreamWorks Dragons, Defenders of Berks, Riders of Berks, Race to the Edge. You should definitely check it out. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Oh, bloody hell. Like, is he... Seriously. Is he taking a pesh or a shite? I don't know why all of a sudden I'm being a Scottish person. But it works. Yeah. Me being a Scotsman sometimes it actually works. It works, laddie. 20 minutes later, TK started taking a pesh. Or pesh and a shite at the same time. Who knows? 30 minutes later, still having a pesh. Oh. Forty minutes later. DK has forgotten taking his drawers. No, he.
Okie dokie.
Did you forget your underwear? Seriously, like what were you doing? Taking a pesh or a shite? I mean, for real. Anyhow. Yeah. Seriously, lose the smell of pesh. Anyway, my second question to you is, this is going to be a tough one. No. Actually, before I go to the tough one, let me go to the easiest one.
I think I know what the tough question is going to be. I have a really bad feeling about what the tough question is going to be.
Maybe. Who knows? But let's go with the easy one first. So besides Hiccup and I can count Toothless as well. So besides Hiccup and Toothless, who would you pick as your, I would say, second favorite character?
Astrid.
Fair enough. For me, I'm gonna have to go with Stoic. Stoic the Vast.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that there's something about his character. I mean, not simply from the movies, but like I also he as a character he also grew on me when I was watching the DreamWorks Dragons like TV show as well. Yeah, so I'll definitely say Stoic the Vast is like my second favorite character. I was kind of like battling between Gobber and Stoic, but later on I was like, you know what, I'm going with Stoic. You know, I mean, one of the biggest reasons is because like he was voiced by the great Gerard Butler, and he did an amazing, one hell of a voice performance.
And it was so smart getting him back for the live action too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think because honestly, I think there's nobody. I think like Stoic as a role, I think is something that Gerard Butler just through his voice embodied. So yeah, I think like
well, so I'll make a comparison with that really quick. So it worked out. It worked out well bringing him back for the live action continuity. I mean, he was just born to play that role. Conversely, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail from James Earl Jones fans, but conversely, bringing James Earl Jones back as Mufasa in the live action Lion King, it was a nice touch, but I don't think it necessarily worked out because he sounded like really washed out and tired.
I mean, I think that when they did The Lion King, was he like in his 80s, right?
Yeah, he was, I think, high. How old was he? How old was he when he passed?
I think he was. I think it was 91.
91. So he would have been mid 80s then.
Let me just check. I think he was
that
90. Let me check just a moment. No, he was 93 when he died.
93. So he would have probably been 86 or 87 then.
So basically, he was in his late 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, but my comparison is that in How to Train Your Dragon, I think that worked really well and was a great sense of continuity. And I think, again, Gerard Butler, he was born to play that role. I mean, like, that's his. I mean, like, anything they ever do with that character, DreamWorks ever does that character, Gerard Butler has to be in it.
I mean, look, besides Leonidas, besides, I'm always butchered this character's name, this guy's name, but besides besides the character from 300, yeah, I mean, I don't ask. Besides the character he played in 300, I would say Stoic the Vast is another character that basically sealed Gerard Butler's career. Let's put it that way. Like basically sealed in a way that there will be no other actor able to play that role.
You know what? My first, the first movie I ever saw Gerard Butler in.
Go ahead.
Olympus Has Fallen.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine was, I think, if I remember correctly, I think he was in Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie.
You know what? I think now that you say that, I think, let me look, but I think he was. I didn't realize he was in that, but I think you're right.
I think he was.
What year did that come out?
Yes, he was. 2003. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the very first time I was introduced to Gerard Butler.
Oh, see, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. So that was my first introduction to him, and then I believe like the second time I saw him was definitely 300. That was the second time. So when I was younger, like when I heard his voice as Stoic the very first time, I kind of in a very fast period of time I realized it was him, because yeah, I wouldn't say, I'm not gonna say immediately because I was young-ish. Yeah, I was young-ish in 2010. So yeah, it took me a little bit, but I think I realized it was him like in a very, very fast period of time. Because I mean, Gerard Butler is one of those actors that has a very, very specific voice.
Yes.
That you can't miss.
I'm surprised Marvel's never got him for anything.
Oh man, honestly, can I say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
I respect Russell Crowe, I really do. But if you want one hell of a Zeus, Gerard Butler is the man.
Ooh, he'd be good. He would be a good serious Zeus.
I'm telling you, I think like his portrayal of Zeus will be much more closer than what Zeus was in the Marvel comics. I'm telling you, Gerard Butler would have been my choice as Zeus. Absolutely.
He would have been great. He would have been good as Zeus. Absolutely.
So anyway, so that was my question for favorite characters. Okay, no. No. Since you said Astrid, I'm not gonna ask you that bonus question.
What was the bonus question?
I mean, I was gonna say, who would you pick as your favorite dragon rider?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Astrid, I think.
For me, are the twins.
The twins?
Yes, because they were hilarious.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah, look, I mean, it would be obvious choice to pick Hiccup. Of course, it would. But honestly, for me, usually for me, when you have a group of people as a team in a story, usually for me, my favorite characters are usually always the weakest links.
Huh? See,
You know, and which in this case are the twins. Let's be honest. I mean, sure, like, you know, they had some moments throughout the movies and everything, but let's be real. Like, they are in a way the weakest link of the team. I mean, the biggest like accidents were caused by them.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so are you ready for the tougher question?
Yes.
Okay, so this is gonna be a tough one, so I don't know if we're thinking the same, but what is your favorite dragon kind in How to Train a Dragon?
Night Fury?
I'm gonna make it a lot more tougher. Besides Night Fury. Yep, because when I ask questions like that, I want to give a chance to other, like, either other characters or other, in this case, dragon races. So besides Night Fury, who would you pick as your favorite dragon kind?
That's a good question. What are the different kinds again?
If I try to name all of them, we will be here all night. But basically, look, okay, let me put it this way. You have, of course, you have the Night Fury. You have like you have Stormcutter. You have Red Death. You have Death Song. You have Skrill. You have Bewilder Beast. You have Death Gripper. Light Fury, which is the female version. You have a Monstrous Nightmare. I mean, Thunder Drums. What were they called? Whispering Death. Like there's so many different kinds of dragons that I like. Like I'm telling you, like we can name that. If we named all of them, we'll be here all night. I mean, you also have Gronkles. You have
what was
Terrible Terrors.
What was Astrid's dragon?
Oh shit! Oh man! What was her kind? No, that was her name. No, Stormfly was her name. A Deadly Natter. Deadly Natter, yeah, that's the one. Deadly Natter.
Deadly Natter, okay.
Yeah. That was her name.
Yeah, that one, I think.
That's your favorite one.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, honestly, I mean, again, there's a lot more dragons that, like, in the How to Train a Dragon world besides the movies. There's, like, trust me, there's a lot of different kinds. But so out of, like, the movies and the TV shows, like, all together, I would say my favorite dragon kind, besides Night Fury, of course, besides them, I will go. I mean, there's a lot of them, but I will go with. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but like there's a dragon kind known as the Skrill.
Okay.
Yeah, the Skrill are basically usually, like, black, purple-ish skinned dragons who basically have the power of thunder. Basically, their power source is electricity, and instead of, like, throwing fire, they throw electricity.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, they're very powerful, very dangerous, very fast as well. And basically the Skrill appears throughout the DreamWorks Dragons TV show. And yeah, I would say besides Night Fury, I would say that would be my favorite dragon kind. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of them, but I would say the Skrill is definitely my favorite one.
Okay, that's a good choice. I like that's a good choice.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, there's, like, if you would watch the DreamWorks Dragons TV show, you will meet so many different kinds of dragons. So many. Believe me. I mean, there's another. Actually, I would say this. There's another kind. Basically, what were they called? Basically, okay. There's another dragon. I think they're known as Timberjack, but they have another. They have another yeah, but they have another name. It's not just simply Timberjack. Let me just check it out. Just a second. They have another name. Just a second. There's another name. Sure. Typhumarang.
Okay.
That's the name I was looking for. Yeah, there's another cool dragon basically called Typhumarang. Oh, wait, we have a comment. Oh, from good old Caroline. What a great idea for an episode. Well, thank you very much, Caroline. Thank you very much. Yeah, after so many delays, because I'm not going to say whose fault is that, we decided to drop in with this specific topic, So, yeah, I mean, if you wish, you can give all thanks to TK. Yeah, because of him, I had to push a specific episode far, far away. But still, I'm happy that you like this idea. And welcome again to the Shadow Council. And TK, of course, is greeting you, Caroline, with an awkward silence. That's right. But basically, Typhumarang is basically a really gigantic dragon, which is kind of like a skinnier version of Snotlot's monstrous nightmare dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a skinnier version, way more bigger, sharper wings. And every time when he flies, he basically creates a circle, almost kind of like they look like almost like waves when you're trying to hypnotize someone, and left in the ground because of the fire and everything. Yeah, but for me, I'll go with the Skrill. Absolutely. Now, okay, the other question I will ask you. Okay, these are very simple, but I'll definitely ask you anyway. So, first question. I think I know the answer that you're going to give me, but what would be your saddest? What would be your saddest part in the How to Train a Dragon franchise?
I think when Hiccup's dad dies.
Then we're on the same boat. Yeah, I would say the most saddest part in the How to Train a Dragon franchise, or in this case movies, I would definitely say is Stoic's death. Absolutely, it really hit hard. I mean, like not just simply the way how he sacrificed himself when Toothless was trying to shoot Hiccup, but also like the overall powerful soundtrack in the background, and then like the Vikings burial. It was such a tragic, emotional, but a very, very powerful moment. But most of all, sad. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. When Toothless and Hiccup said goodbye to each other, they actually kind of came close, but it's a close second. Not it doesn't take the first place. So we're on the same way. We're on the same boat on this one. Yeah, in a way. This time with paddles. Yeah, but anyway, so my second question would be, well, fourth or fifth, I don't know, I lost count. Well, my next question would to you is what will be your funniest moment in the How to Train a Dragon movies?
I think when Hiccup takes Astrid on to ride Toothless for the first time.
Okay. Fair enough. That's actually a pretty good, pretty funny scene. For me, I would say there's a lot of funny scenes in the movies. But if I have to pick one, I'm definitely going with the twins, especially. Wait, I always confuse them. Rough and Tough. Tough Nut and Rough Nut. Tough Nut and Rough Nut. So Rough Nut is the boy, Tough Nut is the girl.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say my favorite moment would be when Tough Nut, basically they were in How to Train Your Dragon 2, and they meet oh my god, I forget his name. He was voiced by the guy who played Jon Snow in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
shite.
I can see him.
Shite. I'm forgetting his name, but it's on the tip of my tongue.
I can picture him.
Yeah. Dragon Hunter. Let me check something.
I just can't think of his name.
Eret.
Yes.
Eret. So basically, my funniest scene in all the movies is in the second movie, where basically Tough Nut is like, "Whoa, that was so close." Oh my. And then me likey. And then she's like, "Take me." that was hilarious. That was that slow motion and the facial expressions, and like the end, the finale when she said, "Take me." Like that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. So that would be my funniest scene. Absolutely. Yeah. Although I would say this, although if we connect with the DreamWorks Dragons TV shows as well, there are other few funny scenes for me. But in your case, I will go just simply with the movies. Absolutely. Okay. Now let's make the game a little more interesting. Do you have any questions for me? Let's switch roles a little bit.
Let me think.
And we're in 3,000 years already.
Okay. What?
3,000 years later.
I'm trying to think of a good one. I don't think you asked. I'm going to steal one that I think you're going to ask.
Oh, okay. Give it a try.
Favorite villain?
Well, I was going to save that for later. But let's first concentrate on Caroline, because she has another comment for us. If you were a dragon, would you be a shadow dragon like the Night Fury? Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, since my name is Lord of Shadows, then my answer would definitely be yes. So what about you, TK?
I'd probably be a shadow dragon like the Night Fury because I think they look cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Since we're both, I think, suckers for Batman, that's also another extra bonus for us. Why we would love to be shadow dragons.
Although I will say I did like that dragon, the big bad dragon in the first movie.
You mean the Red Death?
Yeah, I did like the Red Death.
Superior dragon. Okay, do you mean the Red Death, or you mean Night Fury, or a specific version of a dragon? Like, what exactly do you mean by superior dragon, Caroline?
I just thought of. I'm going to change my question. Let's save the villain for last. I have a different one.
Go ahead then.
I know we're going to get into the live action stuff more later, but I'm curious. Which do you think the Red Death was done better in, the live action or the animated?
Honestly, they're both the same. Because, look, let's be real. The way how the Red Death was done in live action and animation, it's 100% copy paste. So, but I will say this: seeing it in live action with all the details, the CGI and everything, I will say this, that it made the Red Death look terrifying, more terrifying in live action. So, okay, I'm going a little bit more to live action, just because with CGI and everything, Red Death looked a little bit more terrifying.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think live action was more menacing.
Night Fury. I'm always so delayed. I'd be the late dragon. I'd be late to everything, but I'd poop confetti. Then you're definitely the dragon when we do a celebration. You know, if we're gonna need some confetti, then why not hunting down the confetti dragon?
Your poop confetti.
Red Death was awesome in the real one.
Yeah.
I mean, like I mentioned before, like in live action, the Red Death looked way more terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, but in animation, classic, like monster-like villain, basically.
Yeah.
But by the way, if we ever do create a Viking-like party, if we need confetti, be prepared, Caroline, to be hunted down. Because what better way to have free confetti than basically capture a confetti dragon or a confetti pooper? I mean, am I wrong, TK?
No,
I'm serious.
No, that's right.
Exactly. You know, if we create a party, it's hunting season for a confetti pooper. Okay, so I want to ask you. This. Okay, before I ask you, we go to Caroline once again. It'd be 10 minutes late on New Year's, but you'd bet your bum I'd be great. It'd be great. Sorry, it'd be great. Yeah, no doubt about that. Do you doubt her, TK?
No, I don't. I think she's right.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Yeah, so, okay, so I suppose you have never watched the TV shows of Inside How to Train Your Dragon franchise.
No.
Well, I'm telling you right now, like, you should. You definitely should. Especially DreamWorks Dragons, which is basically a combination of DreamWorks Dragons Season 1 called The Riders of Berk, Defenders of Berk, and Race to the Edge. Altogether is like 8 seasons altogether. And basically the entire story, it is set between the first movie and the second movie. Because if you remember, there's a 5-year gap between the first and the second movie. So basically that show basically fulfills that timeline, you know. And I will tell you this, this TV show, especially Race to the Edge, that TV show explains a lot of questions that, for example, you would have had if you watched How to Train a Dragon 2. Let me explain. Let me be more detailed here. So, for example, it gives you an explanation. For example, how did Gobber and Stoic get a dragon?
Okay.
Oh,
for example. Yeah, it gives you an explanation how they get their own dragons. It gives you an explanation of like the origin of like certain gadgets that Hiccup created, like for example the sword.
Okay.
You know, it gives you an explanation to that. It gives you an explanation when it comes to the existence of the Bewilder Beast, the King of Dragons.
Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and take a shite. Awkward Silence, Part 2. Did you take a shite, me lad?
No, I'm back.
Yeah, okay. So basically, like I said, basically, like for a lot of people who, when they watched How to Train a Dragon 2 the first time, the TV show basically answers a lot of questions. Basically, what happened in these 5 years, which like with like those few examples that I gave you. I mean, look, like every single cartoon, of course, there's going to be some filler episodes and everything. But the one thing why I love the DreamWorks Dragons TV show is because the entire storyline is connected. Not just simply connected with the first movie, but like the TV show itself has one big storyline.
See, I like that.
You know, now again, I have to prepare you. There's a lot of filler episodes inside this show, but the main storyline is there, and basically it connects everything from the first movie to the second one. I'll definitely. My advice to you is definitely to give it a shot. Absolutely. Now, the first two seasons, which is the Defenders of Berk and Riders of Berk, the first two seasons, it was at the time when the TV show was released under Cartoon Network, and you know how usually when DreamWorks does TV shows that are based on the movies, you do know that the animation is usually downgraded.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you watch the first two seasons, you'll notice that the animation is downgraded. But when you start with the Race at the Edge, the animation is way better than what it was in the first two seasons, because Netflix actually picked up How to Train Your Dragon.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like Netflix picked up when the TV show, basically. Yeah, because if I remember correctly, when they did it for Cartoon Network, they did actually have plans for like more seasons when it was under them. But I know actually what was the reason why they canceled it or something. But basically, Netflix picked it up and continued the story.
Huh? I did not know that.
Yeah, but although I will say this, there's another Dragons TV show that I will definitely tell you to skip it. It's called Dragons: The Nine Realms.
Okay, now I've heard of that one.
Which is basically set in the present time.
Is that the one that's like? Is that the one where like they're all little kids?
No. It's not. No. It's not the childish one. Which is all set with the academy and everything. No, it's not that one. It's the one that is set in the present time. Again, you have a group of kids, sure, who basically find their dragons, they become dragon riders and everything. But I will say this: the entire TV show, it just simply wasted its potential. Completely.
Really?
Yeah, it completely wasted it because, first and foremost, the story progression was very slow. Like, we're talking like snail or sloth slow.
Really?
Yeah, it was very slow. Barely something happened, and like there were so many story elements. They could have been. They had so much potential. Like, for example, the main character and his mother. In the story, there were so many clues that basically presented them that as like the descendants of Hiccup Haddock.
Huh.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I mean, they never officially, as far as I know, they never officially like said or show. It was never officially showed or said, but there were so many different clues that suggested that the main character, alongside his mother, basically are basically from the same family line of Hiccup Haddock.
Huh.
Yeah, so you had that, because also the dragon that the kid was riding was also a descendant of Toothless and the Light Fury.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. And and basically, so with all that in mind, alongside with the new characters and everything, this show had so much potential to be on the same level of greatness as DreamWorks Dragons in this case. But nope. Like, nothing ever happened. I mean, I think they lasted like 4 or 5 seasons, and barely anything happened. Barely.
Really?
It was very slow. The story moved very slowly, and the overall like revelations of different realms and so many different dragons, the whole implication with like the adult characters and everything, like nothing. Like I said, it was a wasted potential, and it's really tragic because with the elements they had, they could have made a great series.
I just can't believe it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just surprised. I mean, they're usually better with that kind of stuff.
I know, but in this one, either people who were doing this, either they didn't know the lore, or they didn't give a shit, or just simply like they basically had barely any ideas whatsoever. I'm telling you, like, for example, with the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, the animated movies, the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, basically ending its story with a hidden world. Who would say no to basically continue the franchise, but this time set in the modern era? Like hundreds of thousands of years later, like later in the future. Like, for example, like, what is so funny?
No, nothing. I'm just kind of surprised that it's hard to believe it could be that bad.
Trust me, it was. It really was. Because I'm telling you, like, I mean, if someone, like, again, like I said a few seconds ago, if someone will tell you, hey, we're continuing the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, but this time it's gonna be set in our in our own time, in the present time, basically. Because basically continuing what Hiccup said in the Hidden World, where basically the dragons will remain hidden until, like, the time has come for them to reveal themselves once more to humanity.
Yeah.
So they could have used that. They could have used that and create one hell of a continuation of the franchise. Absolutely, with basically giving us like a modern version of, like, I don't know, like pirates or dragon hunters, like, in shape of like evil businessmen, or hunters, or like crazy scientists, like the one from Abominable. Like, they could have literally gave us all those elements, and I'm telling you, with the right people on board, it could have been absolutely great. But nope, they fucked it up from the beginning. Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, do you agree with me that that everyone will, if you had the right story, would you agree with me that making a How to Train Your Dragon continuation in the present time would be a good idea? Yeah, because, like, you have this, like, ancient beings, or should I say ancient creatures, basically, trying to survive in the modern time.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone is a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a shame. It's absolutely a real shame about this. Yeah, but again, going back to DreamWorks Dragons again, I don't want to talk about. I don't want to go into deep discussion about that, because since you didn't watch it, I don't want to give you like spoilers, because trust me, the show is filled with heavy spoilers. I know I know it's funny, but the DreamWorks Dragons TV series, it's filled with heavy spoilers that basically, like I said, with the overarching story, but also at the same time the connection between the first and the second movie.
So what about so I have to ask about it now. So what about the one that's aimed for kids?
Oh, are you talking about the one who have those, like, baby versions of dragons?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that's basically like a Disney Junior type of thing.
Is that any good?
No, because I don't watch those kind of shows. I mean, to be honest, I don't even watch the High Republic Young Jedi Adventures, because that's a little bit too childish for my taste. So yeah, I mean the How to Train Your Dragon Junior TV show. Nope, because it's a little bit too childish for my taste. Yeah, but for small children, I would say it's entertaining. For small children.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, absolutely. And also to give you another crazy twist, for the DreamWorks Dragons, like, TV show, the one from Cartoon Network and Netflix later on, the entire cast of Dragon Riders, they return to voice their characters from the movies.
Really?
Yep, the same guy who voiced Hiccup, same voice for Astrid, Roughnut, Toughnut, Fishlegs, Snotlout, all of them returned to voice their characters in the TV show.
Really?
Yeah, the only ones who changed were, of course, Jared Butler, Stoic the Vast, and Craig Ferguson as Gobber. Like those two, of course, naturally they didn't return because they're a little bit expensive for a TV show.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean it's crazy, but like all the crew from the Dragon Riders, from the How to Train Your Dragon movies, they all returned to voice the same characters.
Huh.
Yeah, which also brings the enjoyment of the show a much more higher level.
That kind of surprises me. Well, of course, huh.
It looks like I put you in a loss for words.
Yeah. No, that just kind of, so.
Yeah, go ahead. Try to speak. Use your mouth.
So, it just kind of, I mean, this is probably a dumb question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I actually just thought about this. So, what would you do if you could do a spin-off TV show for How to Train Your Dragon? What would you do?
Oh, I mean, with what we got in How to Train Your Dragon, like, I mean, honestly, ever since How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World ended, I actually did have an idea of like for a TV show like storyline that is basically between when Hiccup and Toothless said goodbye to each other and before when they met after like many years later, basically. Yeah. Where basically Toothless and the other dragons basically they return from the hidden world like one more time because of a certain crisis that basically happened that kind of like also put the new home for Hiccup and Astrid like in danger.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, but like again, when I had those ideas, I haven't wrote the story, of course. I only have like notes. But after when I read the notes like a couple of times, I was like, it kind of felt a little bit fan fiction, a little bit because the way how because like it would kind of go up against the overall ending of the Hidden World and everything.
Yeah.
But it also at the same time, I don't think I would have done anything wrong because do you remember the How to Train Your Dragon Hidden World Christmas special?
Yes.
Okay, so you have Toothless returning to the new Berk, basically because he was worried about Hiccup and Astrid, like what they were doing, how they're gonna handle, because the dragons are away and everything, they're not riding them anymore. So we saw Toothless and his kids basically returning to Berk to kind of like watching over Hiccup. So, but again, in the story-wise and everything, it always felt like they haven't seen each other ever since they said goodbye. So that story alone that I had, it would have been in a way it wouldn't make sense. Why Toothless and Hiccup they had to like reunite one more time after like that emotional goodbye and everything. Like so that's why I kind of scrapped the idea because it didn't make sense.
It would kind of not dilute, but it would kind of like.
It would kind of basically make. It would kind of make, for me personally, it would kind of make that scene alone less powerful and emotional, and also less important, and also not to mention the reunion. It would make it look. How can I put this? With like a lower quality, if I made myself.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think I can kind of see what you're saying with that.
Yeah, so that's why I scrapped that idea. But the other idea I had which timeline wise it would have been it would have been set um, somewhere like between the second and the third movie, the whole year thing. But the other idea I had, it would have been more villain centric, because because the main characters would have been dragon hunters.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it would have been dragon hunters, and it would have had overall connections to the second movie and the DreamWorks Dragons TV series.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, but basically, yeah. So, and the characters in my idea, they would have been completely new. Like, no characters from the second movie or DreamWorks Dragons TV show. But the one thing that I can tell you that would have been connected to the second movie is that those dragon hunters basically were, in my story, they would have been deserters from Drago's army.
Okay.
That basically, let me put it this way, that basically deserted Drago after his defeat in the second movie.
Okay,
Yeah, that's kind of like a story element that I had in my head. But basically, they basically after they heard of Drago's defeat, they kind of like decide to desert his army and kind of like try to make a name for themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like starting their own dragon hunting empire. Let's put it that way.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and in my story, you would have seen some of the characters appearing, but only like as like cameos.
Okay, I like that.
Because basically, in my story, it would have been basically dragon hunters versus other dragon hunters, or basically quoting like Sam Witwer from Mole Shadow Lord. It would have basically be bad guys versus worse guys.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, if I have to quote him. And also now I will say the ending. I had few ideas. Yeah, I had few ideas, and because one of the ideas was they die. they all die because they all die because one of the ideas I had, they go after a very, very dangerous, powerful dragon, someone who is like on the same level as the King of Dragons, which kind of in a way doesn't make any sense because the Bewilder Beast is the king of all dragons. So, but I was kind of trying to imagine like it would be like a Red Death 2.0 dragon, which is kind of like their overall goal in their dragon hunting crusade. So yeah, so my first idea was like they go after this dragon and they die in the process. The other idea I had, they basically the overall finale would have been like a all out dragon hunting war.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it would be kind of like it would be like a mixture of a sea battle and like the main characters fighting each other.
Okay.
Yeah, and they end up victorious, and basically the ending would have been them basically kind of like seeing the wrongs of their actions and kind of like retiring on an island.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, because I was trying to find an ending that basically doesn't affect the story of the third movie. Yeah, it's great, but going back to your question, yeah, those would be kind of like my ideas. If they give me if they give me if basically let's say Netflix, okay, let's just say Netflix in this case. If Netflix gives me the green light to make this project, I would say the Dragon Hunter project. I would have done that.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough. So let me ask you, what would you do if How to Train Your Dragon, DreamWorks or Netflix, they give you green light to do a How to Train Your Dragon project? What would be your idea?
Honestly, I'm kind of torn between two things. I'd either do some kind of, I don't know if it'd be a movie or TV show, but I would do some kind of continuation with like Astrid and Hiccup. Or I would do a prequel and show like how dragons, a prequel with a prequel and show like how dragons became to be hated.
Oh, I have a better one. Actually, no. Sorry. No, a better one. I do apologize. I mean, I have an addition to your idea. An addition. What about a prequel with a younger Stoic and Gobber?
Yes, that would be good.
I think people would love to see that. Basically, and also this time, you could even make dragons look bad.
Yeah.
Because, it was at the time when Vikings would go up against the dragons.
Yeah, I would. Those are two ways I'd go. I think I might lean more towards the prequel. Just because I think it'd be something different.
Yeah, because it's a little bit risky to do something inside the timeline of the three movies.
Unless you did the prequel like a young Sheldon, sort of.
Yeah,
with Hiccup kind of recounting what he's been told about his dad.
So you mean to say like a prequel where there's like a more younger Hiccup?
Well, no, where Hiccup is the narrator, kind of like Sheldon was.
But instead of talking about himself,
he's talking about his dad.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That would actually make sense.
Because then you could work in like little tidbits of Hiccup and Astrid in their life, like present day. But then you would also, the story would mostly be like the prequel and will mostly be the past.
Yeah. I mean, like, think about it. You can actually do a story, for example, how Stoic met Valka in the first place. You can do stories of like him meeting Gobber, how they became friends and comrades, or his career of like, try to become the next chief of Berk and basically hunting dragons, and honestly, you can end the show if you want. You can end the show either where Valka was taken by the dragons, you can end there, or maybe before the attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea.
But yeah, I will definitely say I like your idea I really like your the whole prequel idea. I think that people will be interested if you do that.
Yeah, that would be a cool way for them to, if they ever want to do anything more with the franchise, like in the animated realm, I think that's their best bet.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so again, the one thing I will definitely say, if you ever get a chance to watch DreamWorks Dragons, like the animated series, the one from Cartoon Network and Netflix all together, I think you're gonna definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah, basically, like I said, all together.
That made me think, did DreamWorks stuff leave Netflix yet?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Did the DreamWorks stuff leave Netflix yet? Because I heard that it's supposed to.
Well, DreamWorks Dragons Race the Edge. That's an original Netflix project, so that's still there. But the first two seasons, Riders of Berk and Defenders of Berk, for those two, I'm not sure if they're still on Netflix or not.
Yeah, it sounds like, I just looked it up. It sounds like Race to the Edge and Rescue Riders are expected to leave.
No, Race to the Edge, no, because that's an original Netflix TV series.
Why?
And usually an original Netflix TV show.
Oh, I know why. DreamWorks. I know why, because DreamWorks, their licensing deals with Netflix are expiring.
That's why. Yeah. Well, I think honestly, I think they will make a new one.
I should binge those quick then.
Yeah, when it's actually expiring.
I think I'm looking to see.
I hope it's not like in a few months.
I'm looking to see if I can find a date when it's expiring. It doesn't look like there's a date. It just looks like it says they're expiring.
So okay, so basically, if they didn't reveal a date yet, that basically means that there's still time for you to binge it.
Okay. Yeah,
if not, I can give you basically other websites where you can watch it.
Yeah.
But trust me, I believe you will not be disappointed.
Oh, you know what I just realized. You know what else that means is going to be leaving?
What?
I should binge that too. The rest of the Troll Hunters. Crap.
Wait. Oh, right. That's also DreamWorks. Shit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you should like you and I. I think like you and I did the Troll Hunters review.
Yeah.
But you should definitely watch Free Below, Wizards, and Rise of the Titans.
Yeah. So how to train? Oh. What was the question I asked earlier? You said we were going to do later with How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. I was. Now we can talk about the live action.
Oh, the favorite villain.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if you want to go directly to that, okay. Well, besides the How to Train a Dragon, besides the movies, like even the TV show itself had a few like really good villains. There is one who is in my top 3. There is one, but I don't want to say out loud who it is because he's surrounded with heavy spoilers. So I don't want to say the third one, but I will definitely say my favorite out of all of the number 1 is definitely Drago Bloodfist.
Okay.
From the second movie. The next one on the second place is definitely Grimmel the Grizzly.
Yeah, I think those would be the 2 I was going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of people when they watched the How to Train a Dragon: The Hidden World, a lot of people didn't like Grimmel as a villain. They didn't like him, but honestly, personally, I really liked him.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of liked him too.
Yeah, because think about it, Drago Bloodfist was basically a dark side version of Valka. Grimmel is the dark side version of Hiccup.
Yes.
You know, basically he is a reflection of Hiccup, what he could have been if he killed the Night Fury in the first movie.
And see, I love when movies do that. I love when movies kind of like reflect their main characters and their villains. Like I love it. Like they sort of take a page out of Marvel sort of and do like their villains is like, this could be you if like this happened. Which I kind of like. I've always found that interesting when they do that.
Yeah, and also, even though personally for me, I would have actually switched roles in the How to Train a Dragon movies. Let me explain what I mean by that. What I meant was that they should have put Grimmel as the main villain in the second movie and Drago Bloodfist in the third movie.
Okay.
And let me explain, because the reason why, because Drago Bloodfist for me felt more like a finale to the entire trilogy.
Yeah, you know what? I don't disagree with that.
Because like, don't get me wrong, Grimmel was still a very satisfying villain for like How to Train a Dragon finale. Absolutely, he was a great villain, and also I would definitely say one of the most dangerous adversaries that Hiccup and these friends has ever faced. But
yeah, I don't completely disagree with that. I kind of see your point there.
Yeah, but when it comes to the overall level of the story, when it comes to the overall level of the story, the overall idea of a bigger threat and everything, it felt like Grimmel should have been the main villain in the second movie, and Drago felt more like he was more like for a third movie.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, because Drago Bloodfist, like I said, he felt like, for example, like Thanos for the Avengers or Darkseid for the Justice League.
Yeah, I can kind of see what you're saying.
Yeah, but nevertheless, both villains were great. And even though Drago Bloodfist, a lot of How to Train a Dragon fans would say he was the best villain out of all of them, there's still a lot of people who didn't like him or Grimmel, because for them they felt like flat villains, like they had no explanation, they had no origin story, they had no how can I put this, deeper, there was no deeper meaning behind them, you know.
Yes.
But you know, and that's one of the reasons why I always thought that as viewers we are spoiled, because because of how many different types of movies we had throughout the years, it felt like when people are complaining about things like that, it felt more like, it felt like, that every single villain should be like, deeply explored, like, with every single detail, like, so that we should connect with them. So we should feel sorry for them. So like, now we understand why he's doing what he's doing. But the thing that people are missing is that sometimes in a villain background, in this case, a villain's origin, sometimes all you need is maybe a few lines so you can get an idea what's behind them, like the agenda, the goal, why they're going up against the hero and everything. Like for example, Drago Bloodfist.
Yes.
In that one line, when that one dialogue that he said, basically, like if I have to, basically, I'm gonna just simply quote it and then I'm gonna say my opinion. But when he met face to face Hiccup, when he showed me, that he has a prosthetic arm, that like, that literally everything was gone. When he said, when basically Hiccup said, dragons, they're kind, amazing creatures that can bring people together. And basically he's showing that he's missing an arm and he's like, or tearing them apart. And then he said something that already can give you an idea about him, which is basically, I know what it means to live in fear, to see my village burned, my family taken, but even as a boy, left with nothing. I vow to rise above the fear of dragons and liberate the people of this world. Okay. And from just those, and for those few lines, that for me was enough to understand the overall character of Drago. Enough. Same thing goes with Grimmel. I mean, when he said, when I was a boy and come up with a Night Fury, I killed him where he slept. That simple act of courage made me a hero in my youth. So I decided to kill every last one of them, bringing real peace to the people of this world. And that until you came along, preaching that all dragons are more than thieves and murderers. That nonsense dies now, starting with you. And with that, even with Grimmel, all those lines, enough to give you an idea who he is. I mean, would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I meant. Sometimes when you're describing a villain or creating, sometimes all you need to do is just simply give them just enough so they can have an idea who they are. You don't have to go like basically you don't have to go like on an anime level where basically you're giving an entire book about their overall backstory and everything. You don't have to write a Bible out of it.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of like my little thought and a little bit of a rant as well, but like basically the whole idea of like how viewers today are spoiled because because they see that every single movie should be Oscar worthy, blockbuster, masterpiece on the same level as Avatar, Titanic, The Godfather. Like Jesus, I mean first of all, how the hell how the hell can you make How to Train a Dragon into like a Godfather level movie? I mean seriously.
That would not be easy.
No. I mean, for example, or even I can give you an idea of an upcoming movie this year in June. Masters of the Universe, He-Man.
Yes.
How the hell can you make a franchise like that as deep as, for example, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yeah.
It's impossible.
You couldn't.
You can't, because it's bonkers. That franchise is supposed to, when you're doing a movie or a TV show, that franchise was always supposed to be as nothing more than just a simple, super fun time ride.
Yes.
I mean, surprisingly, Kevin Smith actually successfully did that with his own Masters of the Universe Revelation and Revolution show. He actually kind of did it, but still, nevertheless, How to Train a Dragon, it's a type of franchise that, yes, you can do a deeper story, but it's not going to be the same level as, like I said, The Sopranos or The Godfather or Titanic or Avatar. Like, it's not going to be on that level.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
there's no way.
Yeah. but but again, anyway, going back to the How to Train Your Dragon villains, there's quite a few outside the movie. There's quite a few great villains in the TV show. Like, one definitely I can name. There are two actually I can name, who are actually pretty good. First one is Alvin the Treacherous, who is the main villain in season 1 and season 2. Well, partially season 2. You have Dagger the Deranged. He's a cool villain, but also extremely annoying. Like every time he was on screen, he always frustrated me because of like how deranged he was. That and the other one I can give you, because I think as a villain, I think you're gonna like him. Vigo Grimborn. He's basically the leader of a group of dragon hunters, but also as a villain, incredibly smart. Very unpredictable. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I should tell you who is the voice of Alvin the Treacherous. I can tell you if you want, but
sure.
I don't know.
I'm curious.
Okay, Alvin the Treacherous. Basically, when you see his design, he's basically this very big, like typical rough, rough and tough, Viking. When you see him, he looks like a very, very typical Viking. But his voice, but he's voiced by Mark Hamill.
Really?
Yeah.
That dude's in everything.
And honestly, even though physically you think his voice doesn't suit him, but with the type of character he is, his voice actually does suit him.
That dude's in everything.
Hey, the guy created a career in voice acting.
Well, that's true.
And and also I did actually read somewhere that Mark Hamill, when he was talking about I think somewhere he was talking about the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, and he did mention that he had loads of fun playing that character.
Really?
Yep. Huh. But it was I know. Okay, what I'm gonna say right now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read somewhere that he said it was a little bit difficult to try to appear his voice as tough as possible.
I could kind of buy that because he doesn't sound like he has the toughest voice in the world.
Have you a picture of Alvin the Treacherous?
Yeah.
Did you see his design?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't quite imagine Mark Hamill doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but it was still cool to hear him.
Of course, I can't imagine him ever voicing a character named Alvin. See, now I just kind of have a vision of him voicing Alvin the Chipmunk in my head.
Well, Mark Hamill is voicing a different type of Alvin. Also, Vigo Grimborn from Race to the Edge series. He's voiced by Alfred Molina.
That dude's like a chameleon too. Good God.
No, but I'm telling you, but the type of character Vigo Grimborn is, his voice is perfect for this character. He is perfect. I mean, what can I say? British actors can do amazing villains.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you're familiar with this actor, but with this voice actor, but Stoic in the DreamWorks Dragons TV show, he's voiced by Nolan North.
Nolan North. I know that name.
Nathan Drake from Uncharted. And also the Penguin from Batman Arkham games.
Yes. Okay, I know who you mean now. I see who it is now.
Yeah, and he does a pretty cool Scottish accent.
Why did I think he was? Hang on a second, I'm looking.
I'm just not sure who voiced Gobber.
Well, who was the? Oh, is Nolan North related to Chris North?
Wait, what?
No, okay, he's not related to Chris North.
Okay, so let me just check something. Okay, so Gobber is voiced. I don't know if you're familiar with this voice actor, but Gobber is voiced by Chris Edgerly. I think his last name is.
Chris, what did you say his name was?
Edgerly.
Edgarly. Okay.
Chris Edgerly. For what I'm seeing here, this guy actually did a lot of like anime voicing.
I need to look him up. I'm gonna look him up now really quick. I'm looking to see. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I can see he did a lot of like especially he was a lot in Naruto.
He looks familiar.
Yeah.
For some reason,
Yeah.
I know the face.
The like like even though I am not a fan of anime dubbing, but I am not a fan of anime dub, but I will say this: I liked his voice as Zeus in the anime Record of Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan of anime dub. I watch usually in traditional Japanese, but I did find his English voice of Zeus in Records of Ragnarok actually impressive.
I don't know why.
Sorry.
I don't know why I know the face.
Yeah, but basically, they're the replacements for Gerard Butler and Craig Ferguson in DreamWorks Dragons TV show. But everyone else.
And remind me what you said earlier. Are they good? I mean, like in terms of being replacements, are they good replacements?
Well, Edgerly actually, I will say this: Edgerly, he actually does a pretty good Craig Ferguson impression. He does a pretty good Craig Ferguson impression. I'll give him that. Although there are moments where you kind of notice there's someone else voicing him, but he does a pretty good impression. I will give him that. Nolan North, honestly, when he's voicing Stoic, when he's voicing Stoic the Vast, well, you know it's Nolan North. Yeah, I mean, look, he does, he's trying to, give him that, deep, gruff, like, voice and everything. He also doing the Scottish accent and all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone can try to mimic Gerard Butler's voice.
So it's kind of like Mushu and Mulan too. Then you can kind of tell it's not the same voice.
Yeah. In a way, yeah. Actually, that's a good comparison. Yeah, like Stoic. I mean, look, Nolan North did his best in the TV show. He really did his best. But at the end of the day, you still know it's Nolan North.
Yeah. Well, they were never going to get Gerard Butler for the TV show.
I mean, absolutely. Unless
they were prepared to pay a crap ton, which I don't think.
I will say this: they did actually get him when they did the anime adaptation of the video game Ark.
Huh.
They did they did actually a TV show that is based on the same game, and they did actually get a lot of great actors in that anime TV series. So so basically, if they can get Gerard Butler. But honestly, if we go back to 2012 and from like 2010 and 12, when in those days, Gerard Butler, I don't think so. But now, with all the streaming services and everything, with bigger budgets, I think they can still get him. But back then, nope.
All right, I'm curious to talk about the live action one.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to ask you now, anyone who follows my channel, you guys know that I already did my How to Train a Dragon review about the live action version. So I want to ask you, like, first and foremost, you watched the live action version, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we talked about the live action version, so obviously you watched it. Then I wouldn't go into deeper spoilers if you didn't. So what are your thoughts about the live action version?
Honestly,
your overall thoughts.
So honestly, I was kind of weird. I watched the first How to Train Your Dragon movie, but I actually watched the live action one first. I actually didn't watch the first, I actually didn't binge the How to Train Your Dragon until after I watched the live action one. So I kind of went into the live action one a little bit blind. I knew bits and pieces of it, but I didn't actually know the story. And then I watched the animated one back. And so, I mean, like you said earlier, and we agreed on this, that we were in agreement on this, that it was a pretty much carbon copy. Which honestly, I wasn't that bugged by, because I think it worked. I mean, they made like subtle changes to Astrid. I think they added like a really subtle change to Astrid and Hiccup, their relationship, which I liked. I also think, though, something about it felt a little bit darker than the animated, which I kind of liked. It just felt like the whole vibe of it felt a little bit darker, which I kind of think they had to do if they were going to put it in live action. I thought that the cast was really good. The only person I think might have been a little bit miscast, who I didn't really connect with as much, was he played I forget, I'm terrible with the names, but he was the guy who played the Inferno guy in Deadpool 2.
Oh, you mean Fish Legs?
Yeah. I thought he was a little bit miscast. For me, I didn't connect as well with him in the live action. But aside from him, I thought it was fairly well cast. I thought that Hiccup and Astrid were actually really good. I know Astrid got I know they got a lot of flack for how they cast Astrid, because she wasn't like a carbon copy of the animated. And while I agree she wasn't a carbon copy, and I mean, I'm a little bit mixed on doing that whenever you're adapting things. I kind of feel like you should be as close to the anime, or as close to the animated as possible. That being said, I think she embodied Astrid, and I think she was the right person to play Astrid. I think that also too that she'll grow in the role. I thought the person who played Hiccup, I actually preferred him a little more I actually preferred him over the person who voiced Hiccup in the animated. A little bit. I thought it was a good movie, though. I mean, it was one of my top 2 of the summer, I think.
Yeah, for me, for me personally, like when I was watching the How to Train Your Dragon live action, literally it literally brought me back down the memory lane when I was watching like the animated movies, especially the first one. I mean, like, from the same soundtrack, some of the dialogue, the characters, like it really brought me back when I was watching like the animated movies, especially, like I said, especially the first one. I mean, I didn't binge them before I watched the live action version, because I was like, because I was kind of like trying to go watch it with an open mind, but not simply with an open mind. I would say more like fresh, if that's if that actually in a way makes sense. I tried, so I went to watch it, and I'll be honest here. The very first time when they announced they're going to do a live action remake of the How to Train Your Dragon, honestly, I wasn't interested at all.
It sounds like a bet. Honestly, it doesn't sound like. I had the same feeling as you, I'll be honest, whenever I heard about it, because I kind of thought like, wait a minute, this isn't going to go well.
Yeah, because I learned a lesson from Disney, from all the live action remakes they did and everything, that I kind of started to hate them. So when I first heard that they're going to do a live action How to Train Your Dragon movie, I was like, oh, come on, really? I mean, like, why would you do that? But then I heard that the same director is going to return to do the live action version. So I was like, oh well, at least they got the same director, so same vision, same ideas and everything. But then the thing that really pushed me to go and watch it was actually first and foremost Nick Frost as Gobber.
Yeah,
and second, the main one, Gerard Butler returning as Stoic.
Yeah, like, although I do need to add one. I think we have a comment.
Oh, we did. Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, good old Caroline. I was hesitant about the live action too, the same way I felt about sequels. Yeah. Although I will say this, Caroline. I mean, look. I mean, just like me and TK, we were hesitant about the live action movie. Absolutely. When it comes to about the sequels, honestly, I was less hesitant, because like, again, same director, same vision, same ideas. So yeah, I would say for the sequels, I was less hesitant. I mean, what about you, TK?
Yeah, I think I was less hesitant too with the sequels, unless she means she's worried about the sequels to the live action one.
Okay, then that's a different story.
I mean, but even then, I'm not as I mean, I'll say this: I was hesitant hearing about this one being adapted, and then about the trilogy itself being adapted. But seeing how well done this one was, I'm a lot less hesitant about the other two.
Yeah, but I will say this: for How to Train Your Dragon 2, there is a bonus, which also is kind of like a big plus. Kate Blanchett is going to return to reprise as Valka.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, Kate Blanchett, who was the voice of Valka in the anime movies, she's going to return to play Valka again. So that is. Sorry?
That'll be a nice touch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's already official. It's already confirmed that she's returning.
Well, and when's the sequel come out?
In 2027, but I'm not sure actually.
See, what month? That's the other thing I want to say that they're doing. I just want to see real quick to make sure I'm not saying something wrong when I say it. I'm just going to look real quick.
Let me just check. In June. Okay, it's coming out in June.
Okay, so
June 11th.
So then that's about 2 years. So if they get this trilogy done, if they do like each live action movie like every 2 years, if that's their timetable, that's actually a pretty good timetable to release this trilogy in.
Yeah, actually, I do agree because like
that would be very impressive because like you would have like I think 2 years is like the right number to have in this case between each.
Yeah, because I read somewhere when it comes to like How to Train a Dragon, like live action sequels, like the second one is June 11th, 2027, which again, it's really great. Like basically you have waiting just 1 year and then basically is released. So if they're keeping up with the same basically same schedule, let's put it that way, same schedule, same plan, then basically the sequel, the third one should be released like I think maybe in 2029.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, think about it, because also one thing I have to congratulate them is that the age of the actors they've chose for the Dragon Riders.
Yes, that was also a good move.
Yeah, because for example, Hiccup, he is, I think the actor is like 18 years old.
Yeah, that works.
Absolutely. Astrid, I think she's like 21. I think the actress. The only one I think who are like, I think Snotlout and Fishlegs, they're also kind of like in the same age, like 19 or 20, something like that. The only ones that are like old are Roughnut and Toughnut.
Yeah.
And that personally, I think that was a mistake.
Well, what was? I have to look now. What was? Those are the twins. What was the girl in that I just saw recently?
Wait, you mean the one who played the twin, or you mean for?
Oh, that's what she was in. Wicked for that. That's what she was in.
Okay, so if you're talking about the one who played Toughnut, then yes.
Yeah, that's what she was. I couldn't remember what she was in. Okay.
Yeah, I think both actors they're like in their, I think early 30.
They I think were a little bit miscast.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing that I was gonna tell you, because I said that also in my review. For example, my only complaint with Astrid, the actress, my only complaint with her was that she was way too serious.
Yeah,
like they should have added a little bit of a personality. I mean, I'm not saying she has to be the exact same copy from the animation, of course, because there's a lot of things that Astrid did in animation that in live action would feel a little bit, bonkers and a little bit like stupid, but or actually more precisely childish. But I still think, for example, that line when basically where Hiccup, before he was chosen to kill the dragon in the arena, he defeated that dragon, and she was like, no, son of a, she was like all pissed off. And it was like Hiccup was like, I'm sorry, but but I have to go. And she's like, where do you have to go exactly?
Yeah,
in the anime movie, you feel that rage, that frustration. But in the live action, she was like, where do you have to go exactly? Where? Like it felt
she
it felt
was
too
too
dramatic.
Yeah.
It felt too dramatic. So like I said, she should have had a little bit of energy, in my personal opinion. That's one. But overall, besides that, the actress did a really good job as Astrid. Yeah. Absolutely, like what the director gave her, she gave her best. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest complaint wasn't actually the actor who played Fish Legs. Actually, for me, he was actually pretty good. He was actually pretty good Fish Legs. Although I do think they should have made his hair blonde.
Yeah.
Because my biggest complaint with Astrid is that because she didn't have the blonde hair.
Yeah, I mean, I get that point. I was just kind of glad. I was kind of glad they didn't do that though, because I remember. Well, actually, no, that's not true. That's a bad comparison. The comparison I was. The comparison I was going for. I'm not going.
I'm kind of imagining what you were trying to do.
I was trying to go. I was thinking of Emmy Rossum as Bulma, but she would have actually looked better with blue hair.
No. She would way more better than with blue hair. But here's the thing. I'm not like just the same thing for the actor who portrayed Fish Legs. Like I'm not asking that they should have like pure blonde hair.
Yeah.
But they should their hair could easily be like darker blonde, if that actually kind of makes sense. Like it could be a darker blonde. Like all I'm asking is like just give them something that is like similar to their characters. Something. Yeah. But my biggest complaint were the twins.
Yeah. Well, I think that the closest in live action to the animated character I thought was Hiccup.
Oh, absolutely. No,
well, actually,
the actor
Hiccup and Stoik, I think.
Oh, yes. I mean, Gerard Butler is Gerard Butler. Like you can never go wrong with him. He's an incredible actor. And he was great at Stoik. Like he didn't lose a thing.
Yeah.
When I can bet you anything. When they gave him the script, when they put him in a costume, I bet you anything that immediately when they said action, he turned into Stoik the Vast like this. Absolutely.
Actually,
but I will.
Let me go back and change that. Hiccup was the best in live action. I thought the closest Stoik, and also Night Fury. But Night Fury, I wasn't going to count because Night Fury is animated, and that's kind of like if Night Fury doesn't look similar because Night Fury is animated, then there's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this: when it comes to CGI realistic dragons, I have to tell you this: for what they did with them in CGI, I was amazed.
Yeah,
I was amazed.
I like that too. I thought that was for me. It's hard. This is the kind of movie that like is kind of tricky to do in live action because because of the dragons, it's hard to ground and it's hard to make it actually look realistic. But I think they got it as close to realistic as they could.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, honestly. One of the species I was kind of like very curious about how they're going to handle them in live action were for example the Gronkles, those like rock like very cute dragons. Like I was kind of curious how they're going to handle them, and honestly, they handled them pretty good.
Yeah,
when it comes to CGI wise,
part of me almost prefers the live action versions to the animated with the dragons. I almost feel like they're a little bit crisper. They're a little bit better.
But I will say this. They definitely made Red Death a lot more scarier. That's for sure. I mean, like when I was watching the theater, when the Red Death came out of the mountain, honestly, it felt like I was there.
Yeah.
And I was watching the gigantic dragon, and I was getting ready to shit my pants.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Red Death was done so much better. And for me, I thought Red Death was done so much better in the live action than the animated was okay, but I thought in the live action that you kind of felt the threat, like you kind of felt, and like the end battle, you kind of felt like it was a battle. In the animated, it just kind of felt like,
Actually, what I really liked when it comes to those like small changes in live action, I mentioned that even in my review. One of the things I really liked is that they in the movie they made. I really like the deeper relationship between Snotlout and his father.
Yes.
I really like that because, like, in the anime movie, he was basically an asshole.
Yeah.
Like he was this, very egotistical, narcissistic, Snowcloud, oi, 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 like, like very very jerk asshole, like, Viking. But in this one, in live action movie, they actually give you a reason why he's an asshole, like because he was trying to prove himself to his father. So I have to tell. So that was one of the changes I really liked within live action.
Did they also drag out or draw out the scene at the end where they all thought Aragorn was dead? Did they draw that out at all?
Wait, you mean
after the final battle, whenever Hiccup had him under his wing?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. I had something else in my mind. Okay, what was the question about the ending?
Did they draw that scene out? I feel like they extended that scene.
You mean when you mean the whole scene after the Red Death thing?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I think there are some changes they did, but again, they're very, very small. Like, for example, one of the changes is basically Snotlout's father basically tapping him on the shoulder. Like that was added. Like that was one of the changes they did, but it wasn't that much, honestly. Like, like besides that and a few small things, it was basically, let's just say, 95% the same.
Okay, now I have a question before we keep talking about the live action. How to Train, which did live action better? How to Train Your Dragon or Lilo and Stitch?
Oh my God. Oh, that's a tough one. No, actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. I will have to go with Lilo and Stitch. And the reason why is because, yes, they made a lot of things that were the same from the movie, but also they changed it a lot. Like, like, for example, not just simply moving away, not just simply cutting off Captain Gantu, but like, even though like the story was the same, the characters were the same, personality-wise, they were the same, the soundtrack was the same, but Lilo and Stitch, the live-action version, had a lot more changes, and the changes felt natural in a way.
Yeah.
And How to Train Your Dragon, like I said, 95% was basically copy paste.
Yeah.
Like, like the changes were like very, very few.
I would agree. I think we're in agreement on that. Then I would agree with that. I would say definitely Lilo and Stitch for me, and I would say that I'd go a step further. I would say that would be one criticism I would have about How to Train Your Dragon, is that I wish they had made more, a little bit more changes, but they could have done stuff a little bit differently without completely going off the rails.
I think like the reason why they didn't do many changes, I think the main reason is because since it was like the very first in this like revisioned trilogy, I think like they were not trying to take like too many risks. So I think like that's the reason. Like they were a little bit worried if they took like too many risks for like changes and everything. I think like I think that's the reason why they kept it 95% the same. That's my theory. Now, maybe that's not the case. I don't know.
Yeah, but I thought the live action, I thought it was well done. I mean, it was cool. The visuals were great.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also one thing I will say, like for example, I really love how in this live action version they already kind of like started to connect the second movie with the first one. Like for example, they immediately mentioned Valka's name.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was actually cool. Like because they already had the anime trilogy, already made, and everything. So they had a lot of things, a lot of elements they could have already used. So that was cool. But I will say this. I think you already know that because I shared the news with you and the others. With Kate Blanchett returning as Valka, we also have Drago Bloodfist cast. And the actor...
Remind me who that actor is?
Oh, man. Just a second. Just give me a chance. Just a second. Just a second. Okay. No, wait. 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 Let me just a second. Let me just a second. Oh. Just a second. Okay. Let me see. Oh my God, I'm gonna really butcher his name. So it's an actor from Iceland. Okay, bear with me. Okay, I'm gonna definitely butcher his name. Olafur Dari Olafsson.
I have to look this.
Yeah, he was in Severance. He was in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. He's a well-known actor.
Oh, he voiced Ragnar the Rock.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I know this guy mostly from TV shows, but there are a few other there are a few movies where I remember him. You know, like for example, I do remember seeing him in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald and Severance as well. But I mostly remember him from like I said, like from a few of the TV shows that he did.
See, I do not remember this guy. Huh. But that's a good casting choice, though.
Yeah, he also was in. He also voiced the character. I think the name was T-Buzz or something from Zack Snyder's Twilight of the Gods. He was in that as well. And what was the other show that I know him off? Just give me a second. Oh yeah, Trapped.
Huh.
Yeah, it's an Icelandic. It's a TV series from Iceland, and that's where mostly I know him of. Yeah, but I will tell you this: they picked a pretty good actor to do Dragon Bloodfist.
Just looking at him, I think he's a good. Just looking at him, I think he's a good choice.
Yeah, because honestly, when you look at him, he really looks like a full grown Viking.
Huh, yeah, he. Just look at
And I'm kind of curious. I mean, also honestly, I'm kind of curious how they're gonna handle him in the live action version.
Yeah, that'll be. I'm kind of curious about that too.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope they kind of make it a little bit more dark.
I mean, I don't know I mean the way how to Train a Dragon 2 was. I don't know how darker they can get.
I mean, well, I hope they kind of maybe mature it a little bit.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, honestly, if they want, they can actually even explore Dragon Bloodlust even more.
Yeah.
Maybe they can give us also like a sort of like a flashback of when he was younger and how he became who he is now.
Ooh, now see, I like that idea.
Yeah. So I'm kind of, I'm really, and most of all, I will tell you this: I'm really curious how he's gonna look like. Yeah, well, one thing for certain, this actor, he's gonna have a full-grown beard.
Oh, he should. I hope he does.
Yeah, because if you remember from the anime version, he didn't have like an actual beard. He only had like a very short goatee beard that was all like wrapped up and everything.
Yeah.
So I think like this version is gonna have like a full-blown like a Viking style beard.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, I cannot wait to see him how he's going to look like with that metallic prosthetic arm and that fish hook.
Yes. Yeah. I'm interested to see how he looks in live action.
Yeah. One thing for certain, I really hope they're going to make his scars look believable.
Yeah. Doing scars is, I don't know, doing scars in live action, it can be, I don't know.
I think like the reason why I'm saying this is because usually in live action when they do scars, usually the way how they do them, they kind of make them look like invisible in a way, because like you can barely see them. But honestly, in real life, I mean, I met a lot of people who when they basically have like scars all over their bodies, and you can actually see them. Like some like here's the thing. Some of them, it depends on like how deep the scar is, but like some of them, they kind of look like they're invisible, almost like almost like the scars are like chameleons. And there are sometimes you have scars who are actually visible.
Yes.
But in Drago Bloodfist's case, I think his scars should be visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like his entire face and his arms and his arm and everything, I think those scars, because because those are like literally dragon scars. So I think his scars should be visible.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm also kind of I was just gonna say I'm also kind of curious if I'm going to be curious to see the progression of Hiccup in live action.
Absolutely. And one thing I'm also kind of curious, I actually haven't mentioned that yet, but one thing I'm really curious is how they're going to handle the Stoic's death moment.
I mean, that's going to be interesting too. See, I would kind of, in live action, I would kind of make that, they can make that a lot more I mean, it was impactful in animation, but I think they can really make that like hit in live action.
Here's the thing: I've seen a lot of comments when the director mentioned that How to Train Your Dragon 2 will have much more bigger changes, unlike the first one, which is good. But some people actually have said in the comments that they would love that Stoic actually doesn't die in the second movie.
Now, see, I mean,
so the question to you is: would you be on board if they didn't make that death scene, or would you still keep it like in the movie?
Honestly, I think I still keep it in the movie. I feel like that'd be too big of a change.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, the only thing I would say is that would still alter the overall story. I was going to say the only thing I would say is I would say if they were going to rewrite it and have it be in the third movie somehow. But I mean, that would be a major rewrite.
Also, I do remember one of the comments also saying, why do they they should like reverse the roles, like instead of like Stoic dying, Valka dies. I'm like, wait a minute, like we get introduced to Valka in the second movie, and you already want her dead, like then what was the point of bringing her back?
I mean,
ooh, there's another scene. I'm really curious to see how they're going to handle in live action the overall Stoic and Valka meetup.
Oh,
remember?
Okay. Yes, yeah.
When he slowly goes towards her, and Valk is like, emotional and kind of like, come on, scream, shout, say something. And then he says in a very calm, gentle voice, like, you're as beautiful as the day I lost you. Like, I'm really curious how they're gonna handle that scene.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting scene too.
Because that's another scene where basically we could make bets of like, will it be better than and the anime version, or will it be like on the same level, or maybe even like lower than what it was in animation? Like it's Stoic's death and the whole scene in the caves when Valka and Stoic meet. I think those two. I think for live action How to Train Your Dragon 2, I think those two scenes will be the biggest challenges of them all.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you personally think?
I think those could be. I think those. I think the death scene could be a challenge. Just making sure like that it hits right. Because I mean, I think, I think the death scene is going to be a really big challenge. I also think one challenge with the second one is one thing they're going to kind of battle is like how much to add or change and how much to just make a carbon copy of.
Yeah.
And I'm like how you said about some people are saying don't kill Stoic. I mean, I'm sure that's going to be a temptation that they alter that or change that somehow.
But I think that that's inevitable.
Yeah. I mean, I personally would not. I don't know. I mean, if it's the same director and everything, I mean, it might make a rewrite okay. I mean,
yeah, but
because these live action adaptations are a little bit different from like Disney in that like you have the same director and everything. So, I mean, if they wanted to make changes, I think fans might accept it. Fans might be a little bit more lenient only because it's the same director. It's not like somebody new's coming in and making the changes. So, I mean, that would be the only case I could make for changing Stoic's death or like flipping it or like doing any of that.
I mean, I could. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, that would be the only case I can make for that kind of change.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's the reason why there was no like really big toxic level like complaints because because it's the same director.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest reason why the complaints were like very, very minor.
Yeah,
because I will tell you this, even the asterisk casting, even that was like a minor complaint. It wasn't like extremely big.
Yeah, even that wasn't bad.
Exactly. So I think the main reason why people are more tolerable with the live action movie and the sequel because it's the same director.
Although I will say, here's one thing that the sequel I think could do better than the first. The first one, their merchandise they had in the stores, like the action figures, the dragons were good, but the actual riders, the actual like characters, no.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't really match. They had weird expressions. They were kind of creepy looking. I don't know who designed those, but that was not good.
Yeah, which also brings me to this question. With like with we talk about like Dragon Blood this and the sequel like movie being handled and everything. Now I'm kind of curious how they're gonna handle the third one.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. I'm kind of curious too because the third one, I can kind of see the villain. That's a good question.
I'm kind of curious who they will cast as Grimmel.
Yes.
One of my friends actually said I don't think he would have accepted, but one of my friends actually said that Grimmel could be played by by Ralph Ineson. I was like, yeah, I mean, I can see it, but honestly, I don't think he would have accepted.
Well, how do you do Gremmel and make him not look too close to Voldemort in live action?
Yeah. Also, can you imagine that white hair?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, who I think could play him. Like those two actors, kind of like because I'm trying to compare physically how Grimmel looks like in the cartoon, in the animation, and with live action. For example, one of the actors I can see Grimmel being played is, for example, Edward Norton.
Okay, I could see that.
Him and oh my God, what's the actor's name? The one who played that businessman in Iron Man 2.
Give me a sec.
He was in the Green Mile and many other different movies. He was also in Jojo Rabbit. What's his name?
The business. You mean Stain?
No. What?
Do you mean Obadiah?
No. Wait. Just a second.
I know who you're thinking about now. Iron Man 2. I was thinking of Iron Man 1. I know who you're thinking about now. Sam Rockwell.
Yes. Honestly, I could see him play Grimmel as well.
See, depending on how old you wanted to go for Grimmel, like
Grimmel. That. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The other person I like, and I'm only saying him because of the white hair. I don't know if he'd actually really be a good choice, but Ted Danson.
Let me see. Ted.
Yeah, Ted Danson.
With a D.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh no, he's too old.
Yeah,
I know. He's the guy from Cheers, and he's also in A Man on the Inside.
Yeah.
But no, he's too old because here's the thing. In the actual animation, Grimmel is actually 50 years old.
Okay, yeah, he'd be too old. Yeah, Sam Rockwell, I could see that.
I think like Edward Norton and Sam Rockwell, I think they're in their 50s now.
Yeah, I almost would lean more Sam Rockwell because I could kind of hear them. I could kind of hear it with his voice.
Yeah, let me just check their age. So Sam Rockwell, he's 57. Edward Norton, he's 56. So honestly, right now they will be perfect because they're in perfect age gap for Grimmel.
You know what? I could see either one.
Yeah, but honestly, when the time comes for them to cast Grimmel, honestly, I don't think he'll be played by a A-list actor.
No, it's also going to be somebody we never expect either. It's also going to be somebody like way out of left, because that's one thing. That's one thing these movies love to do is cast people like way out of left field. Those roles, like I don't know who. It's not. There's no way it's going to be either of those two.
Yeah, I mean, for example, like the guy who plays Drago Bloodfist, like I said, I know him from Severance, Trapped, and he played that ringmaster in Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. A very small role, but like I know him from there. So
I just thought of one more actor that I'm going to throw him into. I just need to look at his age.
You're talking about playing Grimmel.
Oh, this guy's 64 that I'm thinking of, so he might work. Maybe.
What is the name of the actor?
Robert Carlyle.
Robert. C or K?
C.
Let me check. Oh, the guy who played Rumpelstiltskin in Enchanted.
Yeah.
No, wait, no, it wasn't Enchanted. It was Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
Honestly, with that face, honestly, I could see him.
Yeah, he could. He would be an interesting choice. I mean, he definitely could do he could definitely probably pull off the voice. I mean, put him in makeup. I mean, he could work. Yeah,
because remember, Grimmel has almost like a Russian accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, this guy, I could actually see him pull off like a similar accent that Grimmel that Grimmel possesses.
Yeah, he would be somebody I could actually see them casting. He'd be somebody who like I could see them, who I could see being on their radar.
Yeah. So before we wrap this up, I want to ask you this: after the live action trilogy of How to Train a Dragon is done, which I believe that the third one is going to be released in 2029, I think, unless they decide to release in 2028. I mean, it depends. But if after the How to Train a Dragon live action trilogy is done, do you think after that, do you think they will put this franchise to rest?
Honestly, that's a good question. It's funny you asked it because I was thinking about that. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think it could. I think that could be it. But I mean, honestly, if these three do well, I mean, I guess the question is there a like Dragon Ball effect, sort of? I know it wouldn't be the same because obviously Dragon Ball is now where it is because Akira Toriyama was pissed off at Dragon Ball Evolution. He created more Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's putting it very mildly. I think he was beyond pissed off. But I think that, but I guess the question is, do the live action movies, if there's enough interest generated in them and they perform well enough, could there be like some more like animated things? I mean, I think there could be a semi Dragon Ball effect to the point that if it's still shown to be popular, I think they might do more animated stuff.
Honestly, okay. So, do you have anything more to add?
I could also see them doing, if the live actions perform well. I could also see them doing like a live action series somewhere, a live action spinoff series somewhere too, maybe.
Well, here's the thing. Before I go to my, okay, no, actually, I'm gonna say right off the bat. I personally think right off the bat, I think after the trilogy is done, I think this franchise will go to rest. I don't think they will continue with this. I think like after that, they will be officially done with it, because think about it, because when it comes to live action, if they wish to expand on the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, or should I say world, the only thing they can do is basically the whole idea that you and I were talking about way before the beginning, like basically doing a prequel about younger Stoic and Gobber, like
which could work.
It could work in animation and live action. It can work in both ways. And then basically later on, basically maybe at the end of the series or movie, you can maybe do like a Jared Butler, Nick Frost like cameo or something, like basically like going back to the present time, where the first movie kind of started, with basically Berk being under attack. You can do that, but besides that, so that's for me for live action. Animation wise, I don't think I don't think there's anything they can use to kind of like continue keeping this franchise alive. Honestly, the only thing they can do, if they wish to, is basically my whole idea of like How to Train a Dragon, but set in the present time.
Yes,
I can see the crew behind it. I can definitely see them doing only this, and I think it would work much more preferably in animation rather than live action. But besides that, honestly, so again, How to Train a Dragon set in the present time, and maybe a prequel for Stoic and Gobber, like and also Valka as well. Which can actually brings me another idea, but I think that will be like a very limited thing, which is basically you can tell a story about how Valka survived with the dragons.
Yes.
When the dragon kidnapped her, and how basically she learned all their secrets and techniques and everything before Hiccup met her in How to Train a Dragon 2.
Yeah.
So there's another project you can do, but again, personally, I don't think.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I like that idea too.
But personally, I don't think it will happen. I personally think that after they're done with the trilogy, I think, that's it. I think like I think they're not gonna move on. They're gonna basically keep it. They're gonna basically finish it the same way like they did with, for example, Madagascar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, there could be a future continuing on expanding on the franchise, but honestly, after the live action is done, I don't think they're gonna use it anymore. I think they're gonna move on. But again, anything is possible. Absolutely anything.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens when the live action trilogy is over.
Yeah, I mean, the only possible thing they can do, and that actually might be done like as a series. The only thing I can see them do perhaps is maybe a very, 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 very close adaptation to the actual books.
Ooh, I could kind of see that.
But the difference is that this time it's going to be outside DreamWorks. It's going to be outside the How to Train Your Dragon, what we know now.
Yes.
So again, that's another extra that I think could be done. But again, there are very, very small chances.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that being said, I think we came to an end to another journey. I mean, do you have anything more to say before we wrap this up?
No, but I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Here we are, guys. We have reached another end of the road with another Shadow Council episode. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed our little conversation that we have about How to Train Your Dragon. You guys all know the drill already. If you have liked what you've seen, basically comment, like, subscribe, give your all personal thoughts and ideas about what you think about the How to Train Your Dragon franchise in general. What do you think about the future of the franchise, after the live action movies are done? What do you think about How to Train Your Dragon 2 live action movie upcoming, which is coming in June 2027? Basically, everything about the How to Train Your Dragon franchise in general, just simply put it in the comment section down below. And also, if you're interested to see more Shadow Council, like previous episodes that we did in the past, the link is going to be in the description down below as well. And with that being said,
vote on your favorite co-host.
Not a beep from me. Not this time. Not this time. Anyway, this is it. See you guys soon. Stay tuned for more content for the future of this channel. But until then, as always, Laura Shadows signing off.
TK the Lucky Bastard out.
See you guys soon. And as of course, I'd like to say, later, fuckers.